Hi, y'all! This is the second episode of the Runescape Herald. I am so glad we could actually do it this week.
Yes.
Yes.
So, a whole bunch has happened since last week. Daily challenges returned, a new quest dropped, Halloween event, patch notes galore. Honestly, I just want to get your guys' take on what you think of dailies returning real quick.
I'm stoked. I'll answer. I'm so happy. I don't know. I have a reason to use my Viswax again. I have my dailies back. I can change them if I want to. Pick the actual challenge that I want to do. It's that little bit extra that I have on my iron. It's the little bit extra I have on my main that makes me sign in every day. I prefer the challenges. I found the Hero Pass much like a yak track. So for me, I would prefer to come into a game and have something that's secure and something I know that I'm going to be training in. I am very happy.
Um. Yeah. So for me, it's I like it because it just seems so much more obvious what I have to do now. That hero pass thing, it was just I just saw so many things to do. It was just such a long list, and it was just dreadful. And I was just like, am I ever gonna finish this thing? Would I ever get to the end of this? But then like when I saw these dailies popping up, I'm like, oh, these are three simple things I can do. Oh, that's okay. I'll do that, right. And I literally like I did it live on stream, and like not like without even thinking about it, I just went and did the three things. It wasn't like when I look at a long pass of full of different quests and achievements, it's like, well, what order do I do this in? I started just thinking way too deep into it versus just go do these three simple things and enjoy this bonus.
So, do you think it was easier to do than Hero Pass was?
For sure. Oh, 100%. Because on Hero Pass, I only went for like I only went for like two dailies, which is like if you do, a basic like crafting, you'll get the points for that. Like that's all I know about it. I don't even know what the actual thing was versus when I went to go do these other ones, it was like, okay, smith some stuff. Okay, fire make some stuff. It was just a lot simpler laid out and more inviting.
I like it because you can also extend them with the Viswax and you can also re-roll
Mm.
them if you want to make them for a goal that you are. Also, the lady in Berthorpe has right behind the bank there, she has a listing. You can actually toggle the skills you want on or off to be able to come up as challenges. And I think it's more directed
Oh,
to the player's account. And I think that is a really good aspect part of the game.
I would also say like the part so you were talking about Viswax earlier, and I'm like, wait, how is she using it? I was like kind of lost for a second, but now that you mentioned it, yeah, there was this like option to extend. It was so I wanted to mention like the layout of it too was also very easy to understand, and like now like it's why is this so why do you have so many other tabs with like things like the hero pass and like different fucking arrows you gotta excuse the language, different arrows you gotta click down and stuff like that. It's yeah, no, like the interface itself is also inviting on top of it not being crazy. And also thank you for that tip because I need to go turn off some skills.
There you go.
Yeah, having the opportunity, or I want to say the how do I put it? Having the ability to freely choose which skills you want to focus on to compared to which skills you don't want to focus on is such a huge thing that when it was taken away, you kind of missed it. And I I think that's why I hated the hero pass so much, because it took away the freedom that I felt I had.
Mm. And like with such my bad, well, with
Go
it
ahead.
being such a big game and so many different skills, it's almost as if like what's the point of having a reward? Like I get it, like yeah, you want to reward us for doing a skill that maybe a lot of people don't have up right now, or maybe it's on a rotation of sorts, but you're taking away that freedom from us. And like, not everyone, like, people are entering RuneScape at all different points of the game. And so it's like maybe someone just wants to cut wood today, and that's the thing, that's the bonus they want. Maybe someone's very new to the game and doesn't even have invention yet. So like having the choice, and I don't know if you can get it for that, but
You can't get him for invention, unfortunately, because it is an elite skill. Because if you
oh,
could get it, even if you don't have the skill unlocked, it would still give you XP. So that's
but you
why
could do
they,
it for archaeology, right?
yeah. But
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You see
archaeology
what
is
I'm
not an
saying?
elite skill.
So like free to play players would kind of lose some stuff in that process, and not having the freedom to choose, and then pay to play players wouldn't have the ability to like pick whatever skill they're working on at this moment. People are in completely different places on this path to like maxing out.
Oh yeah, and for a starting account, just getting that added XP boost, it makes you want to play the game even more, which I
It's like a
find
little reward.
it
Yeah, I
exactly. It
like
just
that.
keeps pushing you on, and if you want to sit there and spend the money for it, you can spend the money for it. But when they are forcing you to pay the money in order to get the benefits of something, I that to me is just predatory. I don't like it.
Yeah, understandable. But in the same respect, it's yeah, you can go to the little lady. She's a little gnome and she got little glasses on. She's got a big list and she calls you Stretch every time she looks up at you. And you can actually toggle your challenges. And it's nice because, I mean, for somebody like me who had 200 million in archaeology, why do I want an archaeology daily? I don't.
Mm.
So it's kind of one of those things. And in the Hero Pass, you had none of that available. None.
Hmm. I mean, you could re-roll for Viswax, but I mean, you'd only still get one daily compared to three.
Right.
But
I also think it's interesting. Like, I don't know. To me, are they trying to push the character base, or the the player base towards like a certain area of the game? Is there a reason, like, or is it not even that deep? You
you
think he
know,
just does
Um,
it at whim?
I'll let Frosty go first.
I was just gonna say, I don't think it's that deep. It's just a roll of the dice of which dailies you used to get. Challenges were just fun for giving you that little extra push that you might have needed. Just like in woodcutting, not everybody likes to woodcut and stand there, but this gives you kind of the option to do so and gives you that little extra on top of it. And you can extend it and get like a bonus amount. So I found it gives you, like you said before, a path to go with where you're not just walking into this game and going, where do I go? So I found it better. Whereas with the Hero Pass, it was very more, it was a lot more structured. It was also very, like you said, overwhelming. The interface is very confusing, and I find that that was a really disadvantage for it as well. Yak Track was very straightforward. Level one, here's where you are. Level two. I mean, I know they tried to do that with the Hero Pass, but they got too many levels on the first page where you've got like one is challenges, one is things you need to do today. Other things are like max the skill today, work on here. Like there's too many different things. It's not just your dailies, you know?
I,
Yeah.
I, and to Frosty's point, I do think that they were trying to push us onto a path, but RuneScape is one of those sandbox games. I say sandbox very liberally. It's not such a big sandbox game, but it's got a lot of stuff to it. Like, there's a whole set of supplies for magic, melee, range. Like you have all this equipment in the game you can play around with, and some of it has different set effects now. We're starting to get set effects now, which is a huge upgrade for PVMing. But it seems like Jagex is just trying to push people into the PVMing side and not so much skilling side, which I really enjoyed how they did Croesus because it was four different skills. I think the worst skills because woodcutting is terrible, mining is terrible, fishing is terrible, and hunter is terrible
Mm.
on their own. But with Croesus, they made it fun. They made it engaging. It's you still got to work together to defeat this boss, but it's still rewarding for XP. Maybe not so much on the other three compared to Hunter, but overall, it's a really good boss, and I think they should do more skilling bosses going forward.
I love Croesus. But anyway, go on.
Well, I was gonna add that like I think I'm not sure exact. I think it's Elementium bars, but like that whole crazy process that you have to go through to make them.
Are you talking about?
Like
Are
Elemental Workshop
Yeah,
one,
he's
two,
talking
three, and
Elemental
four.
Workshop.
Oh
Wow, that is
my
yeah,
old
Elemental
school.
goodness.
Workshop. I like that's actually kind of cool. Like to me, like that's dope. Now, if you could somehow tell me that like I'm gonna be leveling like 3 or 4 skills throughout this process, and it's like rewarding enough that even though you do this thing once, you could still move on to the next step and the next step and keep creating this item, right? And I'm getting like, enough XP to satisfy like a decent level up in that region. Like, why not just build something like that?
Yeah, that's where I think Croesus comes into play for overall skilling. It made skills that are usually a hassle to grind more bearable and actually engaging. But I know we're getting off topic here. Too many
Wait, real quick,
tangents.
real quick. Can you grind that though, or no?
Yes, you
Croesus?
can.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
You can start it at level 3 if you want. You're just not going to get a lot of
XP.
rewards in
Yeah.
return and XP in return, but you can start the game from scratch if you'd like to. If you want to take on us to take you, we will take you.
Well, my thing is just like for the state of the game in general. Like, I feel like if you didn't have boring perfect, I mean, it's not that you can't just go fishing. Yeah, you don't know enough about how you integrate it into cooking and fire making, but like have things that kind of like show you how these different skills actually do interplay. I think that's something they should do to just improve the quality of life.
Absolutely.
We need to take him to Croesus.
I agree. But Croesus is the first skilling boss and the only
No,
skilling boss
no,
in
no,
the
no,
game.
no, no, no. Big game hunter.
Well, yeah. That's just one hunting though. Like I suppose.
It's hunter
If you
and
wanna,
slayer.
I suppose if you
But
want to
those
put
were the
it.
first
And wood
real skilling
cutting. You do
bosses.
wood cutting in
Like
there
here,
too.
that's what I love about dungeoneering. Like that's what I think is so interesting about dungeoneering is that you can use all these different skills and kind of put them together to kind of get through a challenge. It's just a cool little way to play the game.
It is. But a lot of people thought that that should be a mini game in between. Yeah, I knew he was going to go there with that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not really a big fan of dungeoneering either. I just maxed literally 2 days ago, and that was my last skill.
Yeah, the amount of XP that you had stored up on just going to the
It's oh my,
resource dungeons alone
yeah.
got you close to 99.
But it was it's nice if you have a team. You can go to the dungeoneering world. There is an actual world that's out there that people can join the party, but a lot of them are really pro at it and they run through the dungeon very quickly. The fastest, the better. They just get the experience in the dungeon done, and that's it. If you can solo it and go and take your time with it and take advantage of all of the skills that are inside of the dungeon, it is worth it because then you get more of a completion thing out of it. But dungeoneering is they only made it recently that you could do it with irons as well. They didn't really have it back then. So it's there's been a lot of updating done to dungeoneering in the last little bit. So that's kind of a good positive note to add to the skill, but it's still very rigorous. It's almost like a mini game within itself, like you were saying, where it piggybacks over it.
Yeah.
If we want to think of real skilling bosses, evil trees. That was probably the first skilling boss in the game is evil trees.
Do you
You have
know,
to.
Logan? Do you know if there is actual skilling worlds for dungeoneering for irons themselves?
Yeah, you just go to a dungeoneering world.
Is it? Do they split it up? Like it's they both can go together now, can't they? Like, can a normal account go with
No,
an iron account, or is it just irons together?
just iron accounts can
I
go with
figured
other
it was. I just
irons.
wanted to clarify that.
Yeah,
Yes, no
but
problem.
I personally
Good
because
question. Let me bring that up right
I
now.
did dungeoneering on my iron. As oh god, it was just such a terrible grind doing it all solo. But I had to get up to at least level 40 to get some stuff, and that was just a.
Now,
It
we're just
was
going to mention this. Dungeoneering for free to play is World 39. And I believe there is one for
members.
actual members. Yeah, I'm just double checking in the list right now. Yes, 99. 99 is the members.
Yeah,
So there you go. And you are welcome.
yeah. So personally, I don't like dungeoneering itself. It's very terrible. I think it needs a dramatic overhaul, much like woodcutting. But uh, the thing that really saved dungeoneering was elite dungeons. That saved RuneScape. Or not
It was
saved RuneScape.
abused. We
It
will
was
say that it
abused.
was
It
abused.
was abused. But it was such a different take on dungeoneering, and the story that you got to play through in that was a lot better than some of the stories that they have in regular dungeoneering, because the sagas, they're very boring. And
I understand that, but the other thing is it's not safe. Whereas dungeoneering is a safe thing that you can do. All skills can be done in a dungeon, and you die in it, but you
except
don't
invention.
die. Yeah, but in dungeon, like when you're doing elite dungeons, you can die and you end up in death's office. So it's a little different.
Well,
Mm.
there's a way to fix that. Just don't die.
Yeah, I get it. But for hardcores and other irons, it's probably better that they go with, a team if they're going to do it that way as well.
Frosty's over here gonna send me to Jesus.
I will send you to Jesus.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Frosty.
Anyway,
But
I know.
with Elite Dungeons, this is a good segue into the next topic that I have. The new quest dropped, Ancient Awakening. I believe we are getting a 5th Elite Dungeon. And I want to say it's going to be an Undead Dragonkin dungeon, which would be so cool. Did you
That
guys
would
get
be.
Did you guys get to play the new quest,
Yes.
Goosey?
I haven't. No, not
Ah, I don't want to spoil anything because it was actually.
No, don't do it.
I won't. Damn it!
Let's touch on the
I don't
other
want.
things on that. No,
Ah,
don't be a spoiler.
I don't want to
People like
spoil it.
this game. That's because I'm one of these people that have always I don't read patch notes. Never have. Really. I'm one of these persons that okay, everybody can tell me what's going on or let me figure it out. I when I first started playing this game, I didn't even know there was a guide, and I did every quest until my last 5, and that was when the dragon medal came out, and that was terrible, and I needed a guide for that, and I did it on the day that it dropped, and it took us like I think 6 hours just to do the quest. So I mean, but that's the excitement in the game when things come out. Like you want to figure some things out on your own. I'm not one for spoilers. I don't like spoilers. I never did like spoilers. I want to play a game and experience it for myself. So that is one of those things. So Logan, nope. Nope.
Okay, I guess I just gotta skip that topic until Goosey
Well, no,
plays
hold
that.
on. Real quick. Because the way you're describing elite dungeons, as someone who used to play WoW, Frosty, I'm wondering, like, because what it sounds like to me, like what I do in dungeoneering, doesn't really. It just feels like a mini game almost.
Yes.
It feels like,
Yes.
yeah, here's an end boss. Do this, you'll get scored on it, and then that's gonna give you XP. But
Yes.
to me, it sounds like elite dungeons are what like regular dungeons are in WoW, or are
Yes,
they more like
exactly
raid?
they are. No, they are. They're a lot like the
They're like,
irregular dungeons that you do in WoW. You meet at the
okay,
dungeon. Now they've got the teleporting system, but when I played at the very beginning, they didn't. Everybody had to meet, and we all
nice.
had to go in Burning Crusades, and we all went and did the dungeon, and you go through it all, and you do this thing from start to finish. You can do them over and over and over. It's the same type of thing, except in World of Warcraft, of course, they had many, many, many dungeons. In this game, they're basically a storyline. Curse of the Black Stone is the actual quest for the elite dungeons, and they introduce you, and you can do it in story mode, which is actually very cool if you want to see what they are all about in the beginning, and you can get the story behind it, and you start from level like ED1, which is the elite dungeon 1, 2, and
Yeah.
3, and you do the whole thing, and you do the whole quest that way, and you start in Daemonheim, and they teach you how to do it basically, and it's actually a very good system. I like it, and I have a feeling yes, there's more. Zamorak, the Undercity, is another elite dungeon that just came out. He was the boss that came out earlier this year.
Spoilers.
Gosh, it's been
And that's
earlier.
wait,
Yeah.
and real quick, but that's all along one storyline, right?
The first ones are. The second one's not.
Okay.
So the second one, the Zami Undercity, that is the start of an entirely new trilogy of elite dungeons, I believe.
Yes,
And
I do too.
it's a and it's listed in the quest now as the Age of Chaos, which is very fitting. The way the Age of Chaos started was when Zamorak betrayed them all during, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but at this point in time, it's been a year. Is it okay to say that? What do you guys think? Should I? No. Yes. I don't know.
I don't think I know enough about the different elite dungeons.
Okay, I won't. I'll just say that the Age of Chaos kind of was started by Zamorak. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend going through all the Elder God quest lines and doing all the mini quests. But
Real quick. So like let's just say I wanted to understand that storyline and play it through, right? What I'm kind of confused as to like the whole quest outline. Like, which one of these orders puts you best to like be able to experience this? Like, is this something that I would go through timeline? Would I go through
timeline.
Just through timeline, not
Yeah.
even through
Yes.
release date?
Yeah, if you do timeline, it actually structures each of the quests in. I know it does it like Pathfinder, Adventurer, Heroic, Champion, World Guardian, Elder Gods, and then Age of Chaos is the last
So
one.
if I get this right, yeah. So with Age of Chaos, though, right? So like, let's just say there's certain parts of the game. You know, you've told me about building your own fort, things like that. If you want to get to certain parts of these games, doesn't it feel like as if they're like just kind of pushing you to skip
They really
through?
are, and that's what I don't like. I and this is where I line up with Pride Slayer. He's another regular on this channel, but he's not here today. He was sitting there saying we should have a World Guardian mode where you play through all the quests in successive order and they all kind of build upon each other. You don't necessarily have a skill tree, but you get that linear gameplay that I think that they're trying to go for right now. Like leave normal mode RuneScape by itself, but have the World Guardian mode to kind of experience the lore of RuneScape.
It depends on how you want to play your game, honestly. When I started RuneScape, I was a free to play player. I did not pay for the game yet. I wasn't interested in it yet. I wanted to try it out. And I love the fact that they give you the option to free to play and try out some of the skills. So I started at beginner quests. Then I did the intermediate quests. Then I went into the advanced quests, and then they had legendary. And basically, they were the phases of the quest. I just finished them all up. I did the area tasks, and I had everything ready. Then I thought, okay, I think I'm ready to venture into the next part of the game. Then I started becoming a member in RuneScape. From there, I did the beginner quests there, and it cleaned up a lot of the little junky quests, but those little junky quests that they give you, like one small favor that everybody dreads in the
I
entire
absolutely
game.
hate that fucking
I
quest.
know
It can
that,
die.
but the purpose of the game is to take you all the way around the entire game and see it. It
Yeah,
also
I
allows you
recognize
to.
like it was a play on words at some
It
point. I was
was,
like, okay.
yes, it was hilarious. It made
That
me
quest,
giggle through the whole thing.
that
But the
quest,
thing is, it gave you a keychain that allowed you to equip all the keys that were in the game, because there is a lot of dungeons, a lot of doors, a lot of keys that you need for a lot of places in the game, and it allowed you to have a keychain. Okay,
that quest
so
literally
it was
gave
a
me.
purposeful game. Yes,
Emotional damage.
everybody got emotional damage from that quest, but yes, I get it. But it does give you a direction. Those little quests give you little quality life things. They give you free XP to help you level yourself on a quest that might need that skill. People don't also realize, yes, you can go through the Ultimate Guardian thing, and yes, you can get the storyline and get yourself into PVM, but it's also not going to get your skills up that you need them to be at to be able to qualify and do a lot of those individual quests. So it is nice to clean up some of the smaller quests and do the extra stuff in the game just to be able to get your other things up. Or you're going to have to go grind that tree until you have your wood cutting up just so you can do this quest over here. At least if you're doing the little ones on the side, it helps you get all of your skills up at the same time.
Yeah, but even still, you're gonna have to do a little bit of grinding on the side just to.
Always.
I don't think you get enough XP from just Pathfinder alone to catapult you into the adventurer
Not at all.
No,
category,
no.
because the level prerequisites jump considerably, and it's steadily
Yes, but
progressive.
Pathfinder is just the introduction to the game
Yeah,
too, right?
but I want to say the highest level a quest caps out at is 90. I want to say it's 90 that it caps out at. Don't take my word for that. I have looked through it extensively, and the highest I have found so far is 90.
So just real quick, jumping in on that. Not necessarily that point, but what we were talking about before about going from one timeline to the next timeline. Um, so I like to do marathon streams where I knock those out like just consecutively. Sometimes I just go as far as I can. Right, if it's been 36 hours and I haven't finished it, I'll do another marathon stream just to try to wrap that up later. But with that, there's been times where, and this has been a learning process for me, where I'd be in the middle. Like the very first time I tried to do a marathon stream, I ran into the issue of my skills not being high enough, right? So then now I had to go like read through the quest, set goals for all these skills, grind that out just to then come back and try to marathon them. And then you run into like other issues along the way, like, well, what about all these items you need? If you don't want to have to try to pick them up while you're doing the quest because it's going to slow you down, well then how do you acquire all these? Do you just buy them? Do you get them yourself if you're Iron Man? So it's like one of those things where it's like it's a big gap from one to the next. And if you're trying to play it in a way, like I feel like RuneScape, if you're just playing the quest one at a time and you run into these barriers, you're maybe getting one quest done a day. And that doesn't feel fun.
No, I would agree with that as well.
And that's
But
why
if you need your wood cutting up, you can always just wiki wood cutting quests. And you can also bring up a whole list of wood cutting quests that you can maybe get to and see what rewards you can get, how many you can bang off to be able to get you enough to get to the quest that you're doing as well.
but that'd be skipping around the timeline. If you're wanting to play it in consecutive order, you're
Yeah.
kind of going out of order just to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Which, but I think with how sandbox RuneScape is, there's a lot that you can do to kind of help yourself get up to that point. XP is easy to get up to level 70, it seems, because you're only having to get, I want to say, max 650k just for level 70. And then it just gets progressively bigger and bigger and bigger until you're basically at 1.3 mil from 98 to 99.
Mm-hmm. It is a big gap, but that's how they did it. That's their mathematical equation, and every skill has their own mathematical equation and how they did it, and same with and how to get to that point, which is nice because they show you all the math. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of benefits to this game that I think people just kind of jump over as well. And area tasks are another thing that can help you get experience in the game and get you familiar with the area that you're in. They also give you a lot of free money after you do a whole bunch of tasks. You can go talk to Explorer Jack, and
Area
he
tasks
gives you
are
money too.
super beneficial for irons.
Absolutely. And they're also even good for mains. Like I did we went all for the Lumbridge ring right away. It gives you free alchemy, high level alchemy, and free run. Well, now run's not really a thing in the game, but back then it used to be. So it was kind of fun. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's a little bit of benefits in both places, I find.
So just got a comment here from Two Left Feet Matt. Can you dive into area task and why they're good for irons? Area task, you can start out on the Lumbridge. Every single task has a prerequisite that you have to meet. It'll be in the area task of
Oh, they're fun.
of your summary list, I think. Right? Summary list? Yeah.
Actually, they're in the adventures and the
Adventures.
achievements. Yeah, it's
Achievements, yeah.
the hero. Yeah, it's in
They
the hero and then achievements tab. And if you just go to area tasks, it gives you each one of them. There's easy, medium, hard, and elite in all of them. And they just allow you to do like hit the highest top in the city, do this, do that. It gives you actually a full set of armor if you build the whole thing.
You get a full set of armor, a book, a shield, and a sword.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah. So if you wanted to do just straight, and that would actually be a fun challenge,
It would
as
be.
just you can only use area task armor for any PVMing in the game. Oh, that would be crazy. With the exception of enhanced Excalibur, because technically that is an area task item that you can get because it's dual wield. But
And you need the Sears husband to do it.
yes, but that actually that got me thinking. But the amount of XP that you get from these area tasks, I know it's just like bring a cake to this person, quest complete or task complete, or complete this certain quest and then do a task. Then
No
you get
quests. No quests involved in any of the area
no,
tasks. No, it's just items. You run to the top city. You
no,
will
no, no, no.
ring the bell. You'll
Ardu-
bring a cup of tea.
Ardoon is
Um,
you gotta do Tale of a Two or you gotta do Gertrude's cat and bring somebody in
oh, I guess you
Ardia.
do. Yeah, one a cat. Yes, you do. I'm sorry, my bad. There is one quest, yes, that you will have to do, Gertrude's cat. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but they are very beneficial. You can use the example for Varrock. If you do the Varrock armor, okay, it allows you to use the Edgeville furnace. A lot of people found that that used to be a really good furnace back in the day, and it was very close to the bank, and it was a convenient furnace. You can't use it unless you have the Varrock armor. Now the Varrock armor also allows you to smith faster. It allows you to do other things with it. It's like the what's the other item? Like I said, with the ring for Lumbridge, you're allowed to get free alchemy, high alchs each day. There's a certain number that you get for that. You also allows you to go to the cabbage patch. It allows you to teleport right to the cabbage patch. A lot of the items in the game will have a lot of beneficial teleports. Tyrwin Quiver allows you to go straight to the mushroom patch in Tyrwin. That is a huge one. A
All right.
lot of people love that.
It's
I'm sorry,
just
I
a
gotta
lot of
jump in real quick.
okay.
So, okay, I don't. Okay, I believe that, and this is might be a hot take, but I believe from like level 1 to level whatever. Let's just say it's like 90. All that grinding that you have to do extra on top of, just to meet the requirements to do these quests. I feel like they should be embedded in the quest, because it's beautiful how this game gives you quests that allow you to use new furnaces or use new places along the map. It leads you to explore it as well. It makes you more part of the game. But I feel like at a certain point, once you reach a certain level and it's really just a grind from here to there, maybe you add a couple quests, right? Maybe you make that the real grind, like once you hit 90 or once you hit 99. And then from there, well, guess what? Now look back at your adventure, look back at all the questing you did, look back at all these places you discovered, and now you realize that you have all the resources you need in order to go ahead and grind this out to the end, because you learned from unlocking these different places and having to explore them along some kind of storyline.
And I think that's why they did good on the city of because they integrated the task system into some of the quest. Like you had to go do rune crafting and rune mythos for the city of is you got to go craft runes, and one of the tasks is make X amount of spirit runes or X amount of bone runes. I can't remember, and that was a task complete. You could do that in the middle of the quest while you're there, which is nice. And tasks came after. I want to say they came in like 2012.
Area tasks were
Yeah.
in 2007 when I started the game.
Okay, so they've been around a long time.
Absolutely.
I couldn't remember.
2006, I think.
But
yeah, they were at the very beginning, because Lumbridge, we could get the Lumbridge ring right away. We used to use them in wars in the Wildy
yeah, because
because
they
it
were
gave you run.
they were cheap and easy to get. But
And they were run, yeah. And
yeah,
you also get money. After you do your tasks, you go to Explorer Jack, and he just throws you like $500,000 cash and says, here you go. It's good for starter accounts. It's good to just get these things done, for account wise. That's all too.
yeah. So, and I think some of the prerequisites should be lessened for accounts, but at the same time, I like where they're at.
It's an old game. There's lots of layers.
There
You
is
have
a
to remember
lot of
that
layers
too.
until they move over to Unreal Engine, and make RuneScape 4.
If they do that. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is that it's a big game, and there's lots to do. And the area tasks are actually really one of those things that are beneficial in the game.
Yeah. It helps you out in the long run on certain things. And
Mhm.
it also gives you some quality of life teleports, which are always
Yes,
nice.
that is the best part. I
Yeah,
love the
well-
desert. It takes you right to Narda, you know.
I'm not looking forward to the Dominion Tower grind. That's
It's another thing that's old but needs to probably be updated in the game. But yeah.
there's several things in the game that need to be updated. Speaking of which, Halloween.
Let's talk about Halloween. Yes.
That got updated into the game this week, which seasonal events are always nice, but day one of it, they went into Hero Pass formula mode and it sucked bad.
What do you mean?
So you were only getting 5 oddments or hodiments per pumpkin smash you did, and they hotfixed it this morning. Fortunately, where you log in, you get 1,000 hodiments out upon login, and each pumpkin now gives 25 hodiments or oddments. Because as they were stating, and I can pull this up real quick. I don't.
Put it this way, I play a lot. I also AFK a lot. I'm on from the beginning tonight. I play all the time. I'm disabled, so I'm on the computer a lot. So anyway, being that said, I have been on the game yesterday. I was on for like I think my character was logged in and out over a 10-hour period, and I would have to say 9 of the events, and I had 300 tokens. And
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I played most of the day yesterday on my hardcore.
There you go. Yeah.
And I only got up to, what was it? About 165. Because oddments were a 1 in 10 to a 1 in 20 drop chance for me. But they released a hotfix, I want to say this morning, because Monday and Tuesday it was still happening. After looking at the data and your feedback, we're going to be buffing the amount of hodiments players receive from smashing pumpkins today. Every pumpkin smash will now provide 25 hodiments alongside any other rewards stashed within. This should help regular and irons pick up some items from the hodiment store. We'll also be providing everyone who logs in during the event an additional bundle of 1,000 hodiments as an extra nudge towards something seasonally spooky that you can be saving for. With these adjustments in mind, we won't be enabling conversion of sweet enhancers to hodiments. We'll leave those for you to enjoy at your leisure on top of the hodiments you'll be picking up. If you're still got sweet enhancers in your bank or inventory at the end of the event, that's just sweet enhancers. This year, we also wanted to try providing some level of access to irons. Thank God that they said this, because they need to be more stuff accessible for irons. They have been leaving us in the dirt.
Yes, of that. Yes, I do agree with that too.
Okay.
Level someone telling me that the spookiest thing about this season, or about the season, is the push for microtransactions.
Yes.
That is actually really good.
That's actually good.
Oh, that scariest thing is microtransactions. Yeah, we got 9 of them now. What do you think about that, old school? The level of access to irons is to pick up a few items from this store by awarding some hodiments. Hodiments? Yeah. We decided to try this so we could award something in place of the sweet enhancers, as well as closing the gap on hodiments obtained for free between irons and standard players using daily keys, which is a huge gap, Jagex. Irons don't even get the daily keys, and I'm pretty sure you can sit there and buy more keys with oddments. So the amount of hodiments that you were
Actually,
getting...
you can't at the moment. Keys with oddments are now the only thing they show on the treasure hunter at the moment is the hodments. So when you actually do a key, instead of oddments, you'd be getting hodments for it.
No.
The only store.
You pay oddments for keys still, right?
Yeah, it didn't give me the option this time, because the only store they're showing is the hodment store at the moment.
that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't get access to the Oddment store yesterday at all on my main. I thought it was kind of silly because I usually buy, keys with my extra oddments that I get, but I was only getting hodments and I couldn't convert them, so I couldn't do anything with that. I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. Maybe they've fixed that. I don't know.
Let me check that real quick.
I'd be curious, to
Open
be honest.
store. I mean, I know I'm on my iron, but the Ottoman store is still up, and there are treasure hunter keys right there.
Okay. On your
So
main, is it showing too? Oh, you're not on your main. Sorry. Go ahead.
who plays a main? Ironscape is the
You
best
have
skill.
one. I get it. But
I play a main. I'm not there yet.
I have a
Forget
main,
that.
so that's okay. I play it every day too.
But yeah, the Ottoman store seems to be working.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can buy keys, which is more hodiments for a normal account compared to an iron
Mhm.
account, which doesn't get access to treasure hunter. Which, like I said, they were going into hero pass formula mode and trying to make it to where you pay money to get these items, which I think is very scummy. They need to, and I'm glad that they did this hot fix where we get more hodiments in a shorter time period.
Yeah,
Because
because these just go away, right?
yeah,
After the event.
yeah, they go
Mhm.
away.
Yeah, so like yeah, you don't want
It's
to have to
another
like
currency.
yeah, you don't want to have to like try to work up for a large amount of these and then, you know, you don't end up getting everything out of it. It
Yeah,
just
You
I don't know.
won't.
Yeah,
You
you have
pick a
they have to make it
goal
short.
and go for it, and that's about it because you're never going to get enough to be able to buy what you want unless you purchase. It's just kind of how they've done it. It's always been that way. I understand it's also a business, and they still need to make money too. They got to keep bringing in the updates into the game, the new armors and everything else. They got to pay their people as well. So I do
Do
get
so
it.
these carry over to the next year? Like if they do this event again?
No, they do not. They always reset. Same with the yacht coins and everything else. They never,
which
a lot of the things, a lot of the ones that they do promotions for, they always take out the currency that's for that promotion at the time.
which
Mm.
sucks because why go through all that effort to save up on stuff for the next one, get a head start on it just to have it all taken away. I mean,
Yeah, it is frustrating.
it sucks. Matt says in the chat here, I've been here for 3 updates: Hero Pass, Awakened Quest, and the Pumpkin Event. It seems each has been lackluster. Is Jagex missing what the player base wants, or are they just very short-handed and can't get everything done? Honestly, they're not short-handed. They just don't care about the player base. That's my honest opinion because their firm Carlisle was wanting to put them up for sale for 1 billion US dollars when they bought them for 500 million US dollars. They're trying to make a profit on them and show that they're making a profit. And the backlash that they had received from the Hero Pass was so substantial that Jagex was like, "Oh shit," and Mod Keeper had to come on out and be like, "Yeah, we fucked up. Sorry, we won't do this again." Which they need to listen to the player base. And the player panels that they suggested is, I feel like that's not the right direction to go. But if it's people like the RS guy who says he's not leaving RS3 for old school, because a lot of the content creators have gone over to old school, you can't find one that's staying on RS3 except for the RS guy. In it, yeah, probably Protox, but Protox is mainly going into WoW and other games. Really, the only one still out there is Pride Slayer 77. You can go follow him on Twitch, find him on YouTube. He does an excellent lore video. Yes, that is a plug-in. I will do that for him all the time. I love his stuff. RuneScape, the RS guy, is another one, but he's on the elitist side. And I don't want to say he's a total elitist because I want to get him on this podcast. I even asked him, and he said he'd be up for it. He Pride even mentioned me to him, which was cool. I'm actually out there now, but I got to get this thing bigger if I want somebody like him on there, or even any of the mods.
For sure. My bad. You kind of lost me a little bit though. What
Oh,
was the what did we say? What was the comment one more time?
He's been here for 3 updates: Hero Pass, Awakened Quest, and the Pumpkin event. It seems like each has been lackluster. Is Jagex missing what the player base wants, or are they just shorthanded and can't get everything done?
So yeah, so like I don't necessarily think it's a matter of being shorthanded, and I'll be honest, like I'm pretty sure so like a lot of along the lines, there's decisions being made about money and not necessarily, like making one decision because it'll generate more revenue for them. I just think that like to a certain extent there's just simple quality of life fixes as far as having the ability to generate maybe even a certain amount of, for example, hodiments, and you just have this amount, like maybe a limit on it so that you could just unlock everything for that season. I don't know about necessarily like saving them up and then buying the entire cosmetic store on the next one, but to a certain extent, like why not have that freedom? And I feel like these are like very simple changes, whether or not, and you really have to decide, I guess, as a company, how much freedom do we want to give players in a game where you should be able to make any decision on your own, right? How much freedom do we actually want to give them to pick and choose when they use these seasonal currencies?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing to do. And I even talked to Frosty about this. They should make it to where oddments are convertible for said season. So you could have like uh 10 oddments convert into one hodiment for that season. And because on my iron, I have 42k of the damn things. I have everything bought in the oddment store that I can buy as an iron, and now they're just collecting dust. I would love a way to convert over into a seasonal currency. And I just think that's needed into the game.
Hmm. Because at a certain point, like you run out for the use of ottomans, like once you reach a certain level. So they kind
It
of just sit there.
it's not even level. It's basically they have a very select amount of stuff in the Ottoman store, like 15 costumes, uh 3 animations, 6 pets, and then the rest of the stuff is like beginner crap that you can buy for 100 Ottomans each, like a hype train, uh, the twang bow, dwarven pistols, dwarven axes. It's starter level stuff that scales up into level like 70, I believe. And uh, I just feel like that stuff is very limiting when it comes to
I own
Ottoman.
it all anyway.
Exactly. Once you
I
own it
mean,
all,
once you own it all, it's done. What I kind of, okay, now there's a couple of things I want to interject in here out of all this whole conversation.
by all means.
Number one, we pay for this game. Okay, I do anyway. A lot of people do. It's a membership. Okay, I understand they want to bring in other currencies and other things and other ways to make money. That's why they have cosmetics and other things. Everybody wants to look nice. It's Fashionscape after all. So, I mean, there is a little bit more to it. But I do like the idea of maybe carrying over or having a cap on certain things that you can have a chance to either buy everything in the store or not to be able just to have to go for one item. It's still a business, I understand that, but having a chance to convert some of our old currencies into some of the new currencies would be a wonderful way to be able to, keep on top of it and be able to buy the thing that you want to have. Because once it's gone, and we're never going to be able to get it again. We have to wait for another whole year. Well, a lot of people lose interest, or people will stay here forever, like we all do, because eventually we leave, we come back, we leave, come back. It's RuneScape is kind of one of those games that you can enter at any level and any time and still be able to do things in the game. So
What they
I just think
recently
that,
what they
yeah,
recently got into is all that FOMO crap where it's uh it's only here for a limited time, like the golden party hat or the golden cape. And now the shoulder capes are a FOMO item. They're considered a rare. And
But
what's to
I
say?
like that. That gives you a goal to go for something in the game. One of the reasons why you have a game is to have that end thing that you really, really want. Okay, a lot of it's like you say, it's Fashionscape, or if you want that bow of the Last Guardian, or you want the a fractured staff of Armadillo. These are games that are actually weapons in the game, but you do want to have those goals to say, hey, I really want a party hat. It's a rare item, and the fact that they're introducing newer rares in the game, I think it's excellent because it gives you a goal in the game. What is the purpose of the game besides when you're done and you have the completionist cape and you have the decorated completionist, or you are the decorated, quest lore of all time, and you have everything done? Then what do?
Make a
Well,
new
then you
account.
save for you make a new account, you go for an iron, or you go for those rares. People will do PVM over and over and be able to compete and try and go for those rares that you really, really want. I agree with having rares in the game. I think it gives you a goal, it gives you something to look forward to and have that thing. And it's also a prestigious item. It's not just because people have them. It just gives you that chance to go for something that is unattainable that you would like to have. Every game has them.
And
I
I'm gonna
mean,
oh my bad.
yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So like for me, like I don't think there's any level of the game where you don't want a cosmetic, an animation, or a title. And like that's for
Absolutely.
everybody.
That's right. That's the goals that you're going for in the first place. That's why they have these events out, so you can get that really cool run that you just got, that surge forward. Holy crap, that was neato. Like, I want that. So,
Like
like,
honestly, there's a title here called Pumpkin, and my character's kombucha, so I'm like pumpkin
oh my
kombucha.
gosh, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. So, like, I totally get it. So, I mean, I have to kind of knock you down on that one a little bit, Logan. There is things in the game.
I, I'm not.
Everybody wants the
I'm not
quake
saying
of
it's a
of
bad thing,
Azure Lovely. Yeah,
but
well,
like a shoulder cape, I just they have added it into the game.
I love them.
I want a skill shoulder cape. I
Yeah,
want
that'd
this.
be kind of
I
cool.
want the skilling shoulder capes. I want to have that option or a 120 shoulder cape. I
Maybe you
mean,
just give them the idea,
or
like sometimes you just have to hear for the player base as well, right?
Haven't there
or
That's
been
why we're
like
here.
what they
haven't there
need.
been events that give you skilling gear?
Hmm.
Yes,
Like
and
limited time things?
so Treasure Hunter a while back actually had Next gear on it for a short amount of time, and the people were upsetty spaghetti to the moon about it because that's tier 80 gear that was on the Treasure Hunter that you could basically pay for and get. And
Isn't it cosmetic though?
no, 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 no. It was the actual gear. It was
Oh,
like it was
okay.
like a what was it?
Yeah, the platinum
Lucky.
Virtus. Yeah,
It was kind of like that. It's
lucky
just
gear.
it's
Yeah,
Lucky Torva, Lucky
it's
um
cosmetic.
no, no, no. It's actual gear. Like the Lucky God Wars Dungeon 1 armors were a thing. You could get Lucky
Yeah, I have some on my
Subjugation.
main.
That was
Mm-hmm.
what the
Armadillo.
next gear was, and it wasn't tradable, but it was tier 80 gear you could get from the Treasure Hunter, and a lot of people were upset over that because it was tier 80 gear can take you through the game.
Fair
It
enough. I can understand that too.
tier 70 gear can take you through the game, but tier
It
80
can.
you can do all bosses in the game with tier 80 gear.
Pretty well, yes. I would agree with that if you have a team and that kind of thing.
And to be able to pay for that on the Treasure Hunter, that was just absurd.
Yeah, the
Honest.
idea that like you have pay to play, it's on a monthly or maybe even yearly subscription, and on top of that, there's also pay to win. That's kind of
I'm going to interject on that one too. I'm not really I understand pay to play. Not everybody has the millions of hours I put into this game, okay? There is people out there that
Not
are
everybody gets
only
lucky
on
like you do
the
too either.
weekend. Well, yeah, okay, I'm a lucky coon on my main. What I'm trying to say is there is some people out there that do go to work, they have lives, they have families now. People have been playing this game for 20 years, for heaven's sakes. So, like, I mean, there is people out there that don't have the time, who have that extra 20 bucks in their pocket, that want to be able to get that one thing that they want to buy, and they can get it that way, and they don't have to earn it. For
Well,
me, I think that that is not a bad thing for the player out there that can only put in 8 hours a game on the weekend. or they're
But
busy with family.
but even still, 8 hours a day on the weekend. I mean, you knew I
Not a day. I mean 8 hours total. Some
well,
people can
yeah,
only play 2 hours here or there.
but while I worked Frosty, I went to ED2 and I got the lucky drop of double Fury codex. That was 272 mil right there for just one codex back then.
Hmm.
And that's huge money. Like you can buy a whole bunch of stuff with that. That's like 2 sets of Nex armor, Virtus and Pernix, or
But some people don't have the gear to get in to do those things, is what I'm trying to say. And for them to
and
be able to get that on
I
the
will say you're
exchange,
I will say you're right on this. That's where necromancy has came into play. It allows people to get good gear, which I think they need to do for all for melee ranged and magic. And
there.
it made it to where people could have decent gear they earned and made themselves and still be able to contend on top of all these bosses now, which is nice.
Hmm.
Look, I mean, look, okay. I'm okay with being able to pay a monthly subscription. That right there you go. There's my dollar. Now, on top of that, me buying something or having the ability to then like, oh, if I don't play enough, just use my wallet to boost me to be able to get this gear that matches something that you would have to normally work hard for within the game itself. It kind of feels like it's circumventing the process. At the end of the day, I will also state that like it doesn't hurt me if someone else can do it,
Kind of what I'm trying to say.
but I mean,
If that's the way
maybe.
they want to play their game, then they can play their game that way.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect me.
But whenever Jagex starts going into, we're going to do that for all players, it's either play this way or you're just lagging behind. That's where I start drawing the line. That's where the Hero Pass was for me because I know we're going back to the Hero Pass. It's going to be the dark horse that hangs over RuneScape for the next 2 to 3 years. Being able to have that debuff in the Zamorakian dungeon, the 20% debuff, is a huge factor when you're pushing in rage. Because the higher in rage you have, the more likely you're going to get a drop. I know they said they took away times where you can't contend for world record times in Zami, but at the same time, you're still getting a 20% damage reduction in that dungeon, and that was circumventing the game. Like, stack that with Animate Dead on Magic Gear, you were virtually untouchable, which they did reduce Animate Dead by 20%. So you were basically at post nerf Animate Dead in that dungeon with Magic Gear, which is crazy.
True.
But
Let's go back to the Herald. What else is updating in the patches this week?
yeah. So in Halloween event dropped, we already covered most of that. Treasure Hunter calendar, that's not a thing. Patch notes. When using a Slayer trophy on the guardhouse wall, players are now presented with multiple options for where to place their choice of trophy. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was.
It's funny I found that out yesterday.
I didn't even.
Actually got a trophy yesterday, and she gave me the choice, and I'm like, what?
I didn't even know that was a thing. Corrected the blueprint requirements for the side gate to the Woodcutter's Grove. It now requires 50 construction since it requires the Unwelcome Guest quest, which also requires 50 construction. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing either. Lodestone and Eastern Side Gate blueprints are now hidden from blueprint table once built. That's good. Granny Rowan is back to her old self. Don't call her old to her face, mind you. She can help repair overloads again once you've assembled your tier 3 workbench. That, I remember Frosty saying that was a problem because she'd say, I'm too tired right now. Was that a thing for you?
Maybe.
I remember because whenever I asked her for overload help, she says, "I'm too tired to do that right now, hun. Come back later." I'm like, "The hell? I want to do it right now."
Is there a thing where like if you actually call her old to her face or something? Like if you pick an option that like she doesn't help
I
you?
actually want to test that. Uh, Imagine
Go
you
to the
get
fort
locked out.
right now. Go to the fort right now.
Well, I don't have it on my hardcore. Imagine you say that to her and she locks you out for the week. Oh, that would suck.
That'd be great.
Uh,
That'd be a great little thing in game.
little nuance to the game. That'd be a nice update. Necromancy fixed an issue where players who reset the Ghost of Holy quest with Constitution and Prayer major reset now only resets Vassals of the Harbinger quest. Okay. Uh, Mortifier can now be spoken to in the City of Un to complete the relevant anagram clue scroll. Oh, so he wasn't able to do the clue scroll step like he did there at Port Sarim. You can do it now in the City of That's interesting. Unless
Oh,
he
okay.
moved from
Yep.
Port Sarim. I don't know. General hero point drops and Menophos reputation messages no longer overlap each other. Fix an issue with resetting the Croesus encounter contribution score at the end of the encounter. Fix an issue where some players were unable to use fishing spots at the giant oyster. Okay, that sucks.
That was just like a bug.
Yeah.
Right?
Cave Nightshade seeds are now correctly named within the seed aside setting interface. Resolved an issue where weapon poison did not apply correctly or leave an empty bottle when used. That's a big issue.
Whoa.
Infinite weapon poison for everybody, or it didn't work for you. Either way, still sucks. The triple trouble achievement now unlocks only after speaking to only 3 brothers in Tibuwana ni Trio. Am I saying
Oh
that
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it's that quest line where you have to go to
Tibuwana?
Karanja. Yeah, Twibuona or something. I don't know.
I feel like
Um,
they're trying to do a play on word with that. That's why I don't try and say anything. On mobile, the fight kiln wave encounter has moved from middle of the screen to the side. Fixed an issue where players were able to walk through a table in the archaeology exam center.
Well, I find it ridiculous that you can't stand at the sawmill in the fort without going right through the table as well. It looks terrible. Don't you find that? Like when you're doing the sawmill, like when you're doing just boards building your fort, and you're just going up to the table and you push on it, and it's like, oh well, there goes my whole body into the saw. That's great. Like
The
let's
first
fix
thing
that.
that comes to mind is Danny Phantom. He's a phantom.
Yeah, there we go.
Resolved an issue where unavailable outfits in the wardrobe could be equipped. The black Necronium kite shield has been moved to the right category in the override category. Adjusted the wardrobe camera position for keepsake items to correctly focus on the area in question. And then it's a whole bunch of community notes, community showcases,
Okay.
Scaper screenshots. And that's pretty much it for patch notes this week. And last week was hardly any patch notes. It was basically Hero Pass stuff.
Okay.
So,
I was just curious because I, like I said, I just play the game. I love the game. I just do my thing. And it's nice to hear something of what's going on and what have you in the game and what, bonuses and non bonuses there is and what they have fixed and not fixed.
well, that's what the Runescape Herald is for. We bring you this information so everybody can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't like reading through that, but I actually enjoy reading through the patch notes. There was a time.
Yeah, that's what was nice for you.
There was a time. I think they still do it. One of the mods does all the patch notes on YouTube, and he goes through each, like, a list of 10 or 15 different patch notes, and he is at the location and just state what the problem was and how they fixed it. One thing that I don't see much anymore is Ninja hot fixes. I don't think they do those anymore. They don't list unless it's just in patch notes.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
But yeah, I did.
I don't know. The quality of life things that they've been doing to the game is just awesome.
I did want to get into some theory crafting with you guys because I have been playing around with this idea, and I wanted to bring this up last time, and I told it to Goosey. My theory crafting idea, and I will have one of these every week. Do you think they should update mini games to be more modernized, where you get enhanced rewards, a better system or a better play system, and do you think it would benefit the game in the long run?
I will say it would benefit the game for the long run because a lot of mini games you do get outfits from, like the botanical outfit for Herblore comes from the Flash Powder Factory, and nobody knows what that is. I can probably
But there's
tell you
also
right now.
there's also a level requirement for Flash Powder Factory. Do you think as a mini
Absolutely.
game it should not have those requirements?
I agree. I don't think it should have those requirements anymore. I think Herblore is done right out of the door, and there shouldn't be requirements to get outfit. You don't have requirements for stealing creation, do you?
No.
For the morphing tools and stuff? No. So I mean, and what do you get from there? You get the crafting outfit and you get the fletching outfit. So why isn't the Herblore outfit available to you? Farming, you have to do your player own farm. You move up in farming, and then
Farming
you
you
get
get
pieces as you go, right?
Oh yeah, you can get it from the druids now. I forget
Yes, you
they
can.
I
There's
was
an outfit
thinking
there too.
Cabbage Face Punch mini game.
hmm hmm It's the same thing as Frosty. Temple trekking. A lot of people don't even know what temple trekking is. It's where you take a bunch of people from Mosterdonis all the way down to Bergdarat, and there's a lot of benefits. You get the Mortania legs for when you complete the whole thing. You also get a permanent guest pouch that attaches to your belt. There's a lot of benefits to that mini game as well, and you get the lumberjack outfit, which is an early construction before you do the construction mini game. I think a lot of these mini games need to be updated. I think a lot of them need to be given maybe a few extra rewards, but I think the rewards they give are fine. I just think that they need to be introduced in a better way. The spotlight is a cool thing. You can find out what's going on, and you can see what world it is in by looking at the world tab. To be able to teleport to the world that the mini games are on. But like we started in this game playing Castle Wars regularly, and same with the Void Knight one, whatever that one is. I can't
Pest
remember.
Control.
Thank you, Pest Control regularly. And we used to get Thaler points, and we used to do all of these things back in the day, and now it's nothing. It's a shame.
Pest
I
Control
think
is
if they
still
had,
Pest
it is
Control is still
pretty, a
heavily
lot of
played
people. Yes,
for
a lot of people like it. I love that game. It's great for the
it's
Void Night gear.
yes, the hybrid Void Knight gear, which I don't think you can augment, but you can disassemble it for pestuous components, which is
Mm-hmm.
it basically gives you the guaranteed chance of venom blood
Blood and
on
blood.
on your
Yes.
armor, and which is really good if you're trying to go for biting. You get biting for venom blood, then you're basically untouchable with venom, which is nice.
So definitely, I honestly, we used to love, even Cabbage Face Punch was a fun game. We used to play a lot of these games. They used to be really part of the game itself. Now they're not so much because people are busy skilling or PVM endgame kind of content, and they don't look at it that way anymore. But yes, I do think they're a benefit. I do think that they need to be updated, and I'm up for your goal. Your thought of the day is wonderful. I love it. I definitely think it should be done.
I've had the opportunity to do maybe like two, maybe three mini games. I'm not sure. I think maybe one of them I got led to by a quest. One of them, and then the other two I pretty much discovered because people telling me what to do. Oh, go over here, go over there. Like I wanted to train agility, so I got taught about like the agility course. That's also a mini game where you get tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that to me that's super fun. And like you can, like if you have, like, let's just say the three of us were to do like a little competition where we see, who can click. I think it's the one under Karamja.
Mm-hmm. That's the
Yeah.
agility course. Yep.
Yeah, so like, that could be, that could be interesting to like, play around, like, like you and some friends get together and try to see who can get the most, There's little things like that I feel just need to be made more obvious to players. I feel
There's
like
even a summoning game I didn't even know about until Logan mentioned to me. So I
Familiarization is how
understand.
you
Yeah.
get the summoning outfit, which you can only do once per week, but that thing is
I
the
didn't even
summoning
know it existed.
the
I'm
summoning
sorry,
outfit
but I
is
didn't.
a really good thing to get early game. Matt asked, what sort of activities or group activities these days? Mini games sound like they could bring the community together. Which, yeah, that's true.
They used to.
The mini games have been put by the wayside in favor of solo play by Jagex. Everything has to be soloable now, which I find absolutely 100% a bad game method going forward. With how intricate RuneScape is, I think mini games and even raid content like Beastmaster Durzak and Yakamaru raids needs to be a thing coming back into the game. I know people sit there and say, "Oh, I don't want to be able to rely on 9 other people just to fail a boss." I'm like, no, that's what brings the community together. Mini games brought the community together. People would sit there and talk at Soul Wars while they camped Ice Barrage on the outside, and people couldn't get out of spawn. And people would sit there. People would just sit there and talk. Like, what else were you gonna do?
That's right.
I mean, look, I understand like wanting to have like extra achievements and like extra things to do with people as far as like, if you get more than just one person by themselves. But to me, like doing raids versus like mini quests, like for me, the big difference is that mini quests just need to be fun. They
Are you
just need
talking
to
mini
be made.
games?
Yeah, mini games. Yeah,
Okay.
like
You were saying
yeah,
mini
so,
quests,
like,
and I'm like, wait a second, mini
oh, my
quests
bad,
aren't
my
even
bad.
fun.
Yeah, no. I meant to say, yeah, I meant to say mini games.
You're
They
good.
just need an element of being fun. Like you could rework those and even implement them because some of them aren't boring. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are actually challenging, and you could implement them in a way that makes it more obvious to just the day-to-day player or someone who might even just log on once a week. Give them a way to access that and maybe revamp some of these so they're maybe more attractive, more appealing, whatever the case is. Now with raids, that's a whole different territory because now you are talking about, what about achievements? What about missing out on this and that?
Well,
Are they
Castle
trying to make
Wars.
something that's for social and unsocial players?
Castle Wars is needed for an achievement diary task.
It is. One thing I was going to mention, Goosey, back in like I say, back in the day, I do it a lot. One of the things in this game that needs to be updated is the citadels. I'm sorry, but clans used to be everything.
Yes.
We used to go in and we used to be a clan and we would go and meet another clan and we would go play Stealing Creations against each other. We would go and play the Castle Wars against each other. Clans were a big thing, and now you can only get it by word of mouth. We see a Vexilum. People don't even know what the heck they are for the standards. A lot of people don't even know that clans exist, and if they are in a clan, it's all their Discord, and they're all competitions of bingo and PVM and everything else. We used to have a entertainment director in our clan just to make games in the game fun. So we would all play hide and seek in Varrock or in Falador, or we would go and play a mini game. It was something because everybody wanted their outfits. So we would all get together and we would just go there and do it. But they've gotten really away from the clan thing. And now with the citadels all collapsing, everybody, unless you got a regular amount of people doing your citadel each week, citadels are collapsing because they don't have the materials to keep them up. They're not updated. There's only so many skills that they have in them, and a lot of people don't. And once they're done that skill and they don't need it anymore, they don't do it anymore. So clans fall apart. There's no other reason for them, and they really need to be part of the game. It really was a big part of the game.
Yes.
It is in World of Warcraft. It is everywhere else, and you could bring the raid aspect back because then you would have your clan to help you go do all of these things, right? So
clan raids.
That's right. Like these are things like even with the mini games that need to be, I think they need to look at clans as a whole in this game, and not, just not the elitist clans. I'm talking about generalization clans, clans that have been around for many years. Who cares? But they don't need to have max citadels. I don't think that the upkeep is important anymore. I think the aspect of the game is making the clan available to the community, and then the community can get involved by making the games more accessible. Then they can actually make these things again, like make them
Yeah.
good again, and then
I'm
people would play them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like, okay, so like as you're mentioning like the Citadel, like I'm getting this picture in my head. I remember in WoW they had something where if your clan or your guild over there, if they unlocked a certain achievement or they reach a certain level, that established that now you guys get a power up in this direction. You guys have like a bonus this much for whatever crafting thing you're doing. And but you never had to worry about losing that.
Yeah, here you don't. It's a little bit of a different system. Basically, there's skills that you can do. There's mining, there's smithing, there is wood cutting, there's a loom for crafting, there is
Cook,
cooking and
fire
fire
making.
making. Oh, and there is, you can only get so much experience, but there is summoning a little bit in it as well. So what you can do is you can, if your clan leader has kept up their clan, their citadel, you can go in it, and each week you can get some free amount of experience in that. And what you get is a bonus. They give you a 6% clan bonus that any percent of experience that you make in the game, you get an extra 6% if you cap in your clan.
Does
So
not count
each
for iron, by the way.
yes, and it doesn't count for irons. You only get citadel resources, and you usually get a little book, kind of like a book, doing the Jack of Trades, or Juna going in and getting her tiers, and you get the lowest skill. A book like in Berthort, when you're doing Troll Invasion, you can get a little experience book at the end, and you get a little bit of experience by doing whatever you want in those type of skills that I just mentioned each week for your citadel. Each week, if your citadel is not kept up, it starts collapsing, which means the decorations that you've put in it start disappearing. The week after that, you'll actually, maybe your summoning plot would collapse, and nobody could do summoning unless people are actually doing it. But that's
That's
based, yeah, it's kind of sad. Then you lose your 6%. It goes down as well because your citadel isn't a max citadel, so you lose your percentage on the bonuses of experience you get. And if you used to be on your clan world, you get a full 6%, and if you were on another world, you'd get 3%. But then they made it so you get 6% all the time, and then that way you can get extra percentage on your skilling. Like, it was
and
actually a beneficial thing to do.
yeah, do you think the community would be better off if, building up your citadel was something that was just like permanent in nature
I'm
instead of it
sorry,
falling apart?
want to
Like
say
instead
that
of like the
again?
citadel, so like do you think it'd be beneficial for like the game as a whole?
Yes.
If you could just do these things once and not have to worry about upkeep.
I would agree. I think the upkeep should be taken out. I think that you, once you get your clan together, then make your plots the way you want them. I think that it should be, then it's a meeting place. Each week you meet, you find out what mini game you want to do. You find out what's on Spotlight. You can do events, do raid, make a portal room in there. You could do all kinds of things that they don't have that they can do. I would imagine that they can do it in every other aspect of the game. Why not do something with your citadel?
I I
Get
know
your
that they
members
did.
together.
I know that they did Wars Retreat, but I think a clan citadel hub where you could have all the benefits of Wars Retreat inside your clan citadel would be a nice community feature as well. It brings the community together. You're like, oh, hey, Clanny, how you doing today? Like, going forward, group content should be what they focus on, not solo content. Because
Yeah.
honestly, as a community, and I love the RuneScape community. I try my damnedest to help out everybody I meet. Uh, like I was helping out a hardcore today. He's only been back for a month, and he didn't know the mining and smithing rework happened. Like, there's just people who are coming back to the game that need a little helping hand from the community, and that's what I try and be. I try and be that teacher who will help you out, and in some cases I even give supplies. Like, I'm at that point I can start giving out supplies freely. I helped 3 new players the other day. 2 new players, one has been around for a while, anyways, I helped 3 people. I gave them nearly 150 mil in supplies and stuff. Like, it was crazy. And they were so happy about it. They were like, Logan, what the hell, man? What have you done? And my first reaction is, I know you're sitting there smiling. I can hear it from here. And that's what brings joy to me, is helping you enjoy this game more. And that,
And teaches them stuff too. It also, pass it forward. It makes it easier for when they bring their friends in and their friends in and their 2 friends. Like it gets around. It's nice.
exactly, you're building a community where everybody loves to help each other, or you have a community everybody loves to hang out with each other. And
I agree.
that needs to be the staple of Jagex's motto, is group over solo. And
I agree.
yeah, but so that's my theory crafting for the week. This is going to be a little shorter. I hope to have a 4th on next week, but honestly, guys, I am glad you guys were able to make it. Going
Thank you.
forward,
For sure.
this is going to be a staple every Wednesday, or try to be every Wednesday. I want to go longer, but we kind of just covered everything all at once until Goosey can do the quest. And I'm sorry.
I don't
I'm
know,
sorry,
yeah.
Goosey. I had to pick on you.
No, for sure, for sure. Age of Chaos is just a little ways away. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know.
Yeah, it
But
is.
so Goosey, where can they find you at?
For sure. Kick, Instagram, pretty much anywhere. GXXSEI. Goosey.
Don't you have a YouTube channel now?
Yes, YouTube as well. Yes. And I do have some content that I'm still editing. It's been taking me a while, but some content I'm putting together that is RS related there. Right now, you're just mainly gonna see reacts and stuff.
That's fair. And Frosty is a member of the community and also my best friend.
Yay.
I will. I stream over here on Kick. I will be uploading this video on Rumble, YouTube, because my friend Pride said I have to diversify, and then once I'm done with YouTube, I can just exclusively do Rumble. But until then, this has been the RuneScape Herald. I appreciate all you. This has been fun. And I consider this meeting adjourned.
Wonderful.